All right, let's get started. Namaste, everyone. Thanks for joining Hindi University. This is Ashutosh, and with me we have Jennifer.
Namaste, everybody.
In these sessions, we are covering or we are teaching Hindi language through various scenarios. We've covered so far many scenarios, such as like what do you do when you're at a train station? How do you talk about your friends and family members in Hindi? We also spoke about how to order a dish in an Indian restaurant, right? So if you haven't had a chance to, watch them, I encourage you to check those videos out. In this lecture, we're going to cover even a better topic or a special topic, which came from one of the student itself, right? I mean, so this particular topic you will learn to give instructions you will learn to give instructions to a rickshaw driver in Hindi. And it is applicable not just in this particular context. You can use the same instructions even when you're taking any other sort of like, a rental car or, an auto rickshaw, anything basically, right? Have you taken any auto rickshaw or the regular rickshaw?
I have. I've
You
taken
have?
an auto, yeah.
How was your experience?
It's a lot of fun.
Huh?
Yeah, you just have to hang on for dear life, but it's fun. Have you taken an auto rickshaw?
Many times.
Yeah.
I grew up there, right?
What do you like it?
Of course, I enjoyed it, right? I mean, especially in my childhood, whenever my mom used to go anywhere, we'll take the regular rickshaw. But then eventually, when I was in college, I started taking the auto rickshaw as well, right?
Yeah.
Electronic one. So
Yeah.
it was fun. Where did you take it?
In Calcutta.
Calcutta?
Yeah.
I don't know if you remember, but in Calcutta, now they're banned. But till the British era, right? We used to have like the handheld.
Yes, right. I've seen pictures.
Yeah. So you can find if you go to some of the museums, you can still see those. So it's interesting to see the evolution of auto rickshaws as well.
Absolutely.
So now even the three-wheelers, it's called e-rickshaw. So even with that, you don't have to paddle it. You
Right.
can like use your. They have a small engine and all, so it's pretty interesting. So anyway, apart from that, we'll cover a lot of things that you can like. So what kind of things like from your experience, Jennifer? Tell me some of the things that you sort of like struggled with, or some of the things you wish you had known when you took the auto rickshaw.
So maybe just how to say where is the hotel or the subway station or
Where is the So these kind of questions.
Yeah.
Where is the anything?
yes.
Okay. What else?
Or will you take me to the blank?
Okay. Will you take me to any area?
Exactly.
Right? And then what else?
I think right or left is always good to
Okay.
know.
You want to give directions to
Yeah.
him, right? Right or left, straight, anything. And in the audience, feel free to write down anything that you think you will need when you are taking an auto rickshaw, right? I will cover that. What else comes to your mind?
How much will it cost?
Okay, very good, right? Any kind of negotiation thing, right? How much will it cost? Okay, so we'll cover miscellaneous topics, including some of the things that you've written down on the whiteboard, and anything that comes to you, like from your experience when you took the auto rickshaw, right? We'll cover those as well. You feel free to write them down in the chat box. Okay. So with that in mind, let's get started.
Let's do it.
Okay. So I'll be covering 7 tips that you should know when you're taking an auto rickshaw, or 7 kind of different ways you can give directions, right? And knowing those will definitely help you, right?
By the way, Chrissy gave a suggestion. She said, how much will it be? And how to say, so it will only be that much, because you can be sure whatever they say, it will be more when you arrive.
Okay.
Which I think is true.
Yeah. So the first thing, which is the first one is where will I find like even before you taking a rickshaw, uh, like in some areas in India, you can definitely find a station where all the rickshaws will be like assembled together, just like a taxi station. Other time it may be difficult. You don't know where the taxi station is, right? So the first question is where will I find a rickshaw or an auto rickshaw, right, or a bus, right? So first thing we need to know is where will I find a rickshaw, right? And you can replace a rickshaw with anything. You can replace it with water or food or a hotel, or happiness to that extent, right? So how do you say that, right? So first thing you need to know is like you see a verb here, to find, right? So first thing you need to know to translate this sentence or these kind of sentences in Hindi is like how do you say this verb in Hindi? What is that?
Milna.
Milna. And in this case you'll be using milna, but to find is also dhundna. Dhundna, okay? So in this case, it will be sort of any kind of things where we are saying, milna is basically we'll be using milna. And when we say milna, it has two meanings. One is to find, and it also means to meet. So when I say मैं आपसे मिलता हूँ, it means I meet with you, right? I meet you, right? When I say मैं उनसे मिलता हूँ, that means I meet them, right? Or when I say मैं सबसे मिलता हूँ, right? It means I meet everyone, right? So let's set up a formula for it as always, right? So if you want to really keep it simple, the formula would be you have a let me know if it is not visible on the on the video, and I'll make sure I use a darker one. The first one is this, and then what about? So let's break it down first. Actually, before I give you the formula, where is
Kahan.
kahan? Okay, rickshaw is rickshaw. Will is giving you an indication. Basically, it will be future indefinite, right? And in this case, when we say to find is milna, right? And because it's first person singular, it will be treated as he or she or it, right? So when you say वह कहाँ मिलेगा, where will I find him, right? Same thing. So you have in this case rickshaw, and then you have kahan, rickshaw kahan milega. So you have ka with ha and kahan milega. Rickshaw kahan milega, right? Now we used milega here. Can anybody tell me why we used milega and not milegi and milenge? And feel free to use your chat box for that. Why did we use milega?
Liz says because rickshaw is masculine.
That's right. Rickshaw is masculine singular, right? If it is plural, right? I mean, if you're saying rickshaw, then it's masculine plural, right? So it's because it's masculine singular. So let's take some more examples of masculine singular, so that way the concept is pretty clear, and then we can change it, to some of the feminine objects as well or subjects as well, right? So, so what if you want to say water? Where will I find? Same thing now, right? I mean, instead of that, you will be asking where will I find water? Answer would be, let's give it a try. I'll open it up for you guys so you write it down. Very good, right? So it will be pani, pa with a and then na with e. Pani kahan milega? Where will I find some water? Okay. Let's practice a bit more. Let's talk about food. Right? Where will I find some food? And all these are masculine singular, right? Do we have the answer?
Yes, Chrissy and Liz both said Khana kahan milega.
Okay, very good. So in this case, the answer would be khana kahan milega. And khana is a noun as well as a verb, right? Khana is to eat and khana is food as well, right? So khana kahan milega. So all of them are so far are masculine singular, right? Let's change it to some of the feminine singular pronouns or nouns. Can you think of some of them, Jessica?
Sari.
Sari, very
Excuse
good,
me,
right?
Sari.
Sari is a feminine singular, right? So it will be sari, and then kahan milegi, right? So it will be sari, and then again you have your ka with her and a, kahan milegi, right? Sari kahan milegi, right? So you change the ending from a to e, milegi. Good. Let's jump to the next one. What about some other? So again, like this is simply to for practice. The formula will remain the same, and also to kind of give you examples of what falls into the feminine singular domain, right? Ice cream. Right. When you're talking about ice cream, your answer will remain the same. Ice cream kahan milegi? Ice cream kahan milegi?
Chrissy asked if clothes would fall into this category.
Yeah, so clothes, if you're talking about plural, it'll fall into the masculine plural, and I have one of the example as well. So it'll be kapde kahan milenge. So right after this feminine, so both feminine singular and plural would be milengi, right? Milegi. So with after ice cream, let's talk about medicine, because that's also one of the things you might if you get sick. Important thing, right? You are taking a rickshaw. Rickshaw kahan milega? And then you're asking the rickshaw driver itself, right? I mean, which is medicine or dawai, right? And you might very well use our formula. Medicine को हिंदी में क्या कहते हैं, right? So it would be dawai or dawa. If you want to keep it simple, you can simply say the synonym of dawai is dawa. So you have a the with va and a. Dawa kahan milegi? Right? I mean, in this case, there are local, pharmaceutical small shops, right? And not only these, any kind of some of the philosophical things also can fall into the feminine singular, such as where will I find peace? life is too much chaotic, right? Or happiness. Both of them, you can use the same structure, right? So for peace, either you can say peace kahan milegi or shanti kahan milegi. Right? I mean, so a lot of people when they write essay about the modern life, they'll say, shanti kahan milegi. Shanti is also a name, by the way.
A nice name, yeah.
Yeah. So that's shanti kahan milegi, and then you can simply say happiness kahan milegi. And happiness, you can, in Hindi it will be khushi. So you have a kh with u, sh with e. Khushi kahan milegi, and khushi is also a name. And that's how you sort of say it, khushi. I guess I didn't write the shanti. So if you write shanti, which is peace, the way you write it is shanti. This will also prepare you for some more vocabulary, right? So happiness is khushi, and that's how you write it. Peace is shanti, and that's how you write it, right? So these are all sort of like feminine singular, and even for feminine plural, right? If you want to say sari instead of sari, if you want to say sadiyan, right? Sadiyan kahan milegi? It'll still be the same, right? So let's learn about some masculine plural. So one of the example that was given to us just now was clothes. Where will I find clothes? Right. So it would be, because you can say it's a plural, right? You can always ask the question to the person you're talking to whether it's a masculine or feminine in Hindi, right? Kya cloth masculine hai? And that is the formula we learned, right? Or if you want to know how do you say clothes in Hindi, it would be clothes ko हिंदी में क्या कहते हैं? I'm repeating it again because a lot of people join in every class, right? And also it will strengthen your own understanding as well as how to sort of incrementally learn it, right? Clothes को हिंदी में क्या कहते हैं? Do you know the answer, Jennifer?
Yes.
Yeah. Singular would be?
Singular, just the word for clothes or the whole? Kapra.
Kapda, right? Kapda is singular, and it's ka with pa and da. Kapda, and plural would be
Kapre.
kapde. So this is kapde. So you will say it as ka pa da with a, kapde, and that's cloth. This is clothes. Right? And the way you will say it is kapde. And if you're using it in our sentence, it would be kapde kahan. Now milega, it's no longer milegi, it's milenge. Kapde kahan milenge. Okay, so it'll be me lenge. कपड़े कहाँ मिलेंगे? That's masculine, plural. Let's take some more example of masculine plural. What about if you are a big fan of parathas, right? I mean, parathas are have you had parathas?
Of course.
How would you describe them?
How would I describe it? A flaky hot bread.
Okay, very good. Right?
Delicious.
Yeah. So parathe, where will I find parathe? And paratha is singular, parathe is plural, right? So when I say paratha, it's singular. and then parathe is plural, right? How will you say that?
So for the plural?
Yeah, no, sorry. Where will I find parathe?
So parathe kahan milenge?
Very good. Parathe kahan milenge? Parathe kahan milenge? Similarly, if you are looking for spices, like Indian spices are very popular, right? Um, and even if you can try even here when you go to any Indian grocery store, right? And you want to ask them like in which section, I will find spices.
Masala?
Very good. Masala, and plural would be
Masale.
masale, right? So singular is masala. Masala is spice, and plural is masale, spices. And you say, where will I find spices? Will be masale kahan milenge. So you have ma with sa and a, and then la with a, masale. Right. So that kind of give you sort of like a very clear distinction among like what is masculine singular, what is feminine singular and plural, and what is masculine plural. Right. Now let's say for a quiz, right? I were to give you some more exercises, right? So let's say I'll say. So this is simply a quiz. So I have to come up with three different, so let's say I'll say utensils, and I'll make it a little bit complicated, so that way you get to practice it a little bit more. Utensils or dishes. Think of it like this way, right? Let's say second one is iPhone, and the third one is, let's say, watch or a wristwatch, right? Your now task is I'm going to give you a minute. Your task is to sort of reflect on them and then write them down in Hindi. Okay, so take your time. Let me know if you have any questions as you're working through these three, sort of like, You done, Jennifer?
Yes, but the answers are still coming in.
It's coming. Okay.
It's going.
Just checking. Hashtag.
Okay. So Liz says.
Okay, so okay, so what is this one? Utensils would be masculine or feminine? Let's just, while everybody's working through it, maybe we can just.
Yeah.
What is utensils?
It's plural.
Plural, okay.
And I'm going to say it's masculine.
Why?
I don't know, I'm guessing.
Your guess is right. It's masculine plural.
Okay.
iPhone?
I'm going to say it's masculine singular.
Okay, masculine singular. And watch?
Feminine singular.
Very good. Wow. You can really think like a really native Hindi speaker. Let's see. I mean, that should give enough.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
So Yeah, I think people have answers.
People have answers. Okay.
Yeah.
Keep on coming. Don't worry about being a negative or remark. There's no penalty, right? The entire thing is like we are trying, right? That's all that matters,
Absolutely.
right? So the first one is like where will I find utensils? And the answer for that is
Utensils kahan milenge?
Okay.
Milenge.
So utensils kahan milenge? Do you know what is utensils in Hindi?
I don't.
You don't. Okay.
Hindi में utensils को क्या कहते हैं?
Okay, very good, right? हिंदी में utensils को बर्तन कहते हैं. Right, so you have b, the, but because the r sound is coming before the, it's like a c on top of the, and न, बर्तन. बर्तन कहाँ मिलेंगे? People got it right? Most of the people? Okay,
Yeah.
very good. Let's speed it up. What is the next one?
The next one is iPhone kahan milega?
Very good, right? I mean, so there's no Hindi word for iPhone, so it'll be iPhone kahan and then milega. iPhone kahan milega. Right, straightforward. And the third one is
So curry.
okay, very good, right? So watch is either you can say watch kahan milegi or you can say gadi. Gadi kahan
Milegi.
milegi, right? So you have a g, you have a d, gadi. Right? Gadi kahan milegi. People got it right? All
Yeah.
Okay, very good. Right, so this was like, where will I find it, right? So let's keep going. We'll speed it up now. So this is like having, figured out where you'll find a rickshaw. The next thing you want to know is, you want to talk to the rickshaw driver is like, will you go to this place, or will you, as Jennifer pointed out, will you take me to a particular place, right? Let's say in this question you're talking about you're in Delhi and you're asking about Karol Bagh. Okay, so before even I started, let's say if you can write it down in Hindi, like how will you say will you go to Karol Bagh, right? And keep it simple, right? If you don't want to use too many sort of words in here, how will you?
So Jan says, Karol Bagh को हिंदी में क्या कहते हैं?
Okay, so Karol Bagh is like a location, just like Machu Picchu in Peru, right? So Hindi में Karol Bagh को Karol Bagh ही बोलेंगे. So just like if you want to say, let's say even in Peru, right? I mean, if you want to ask someone like auto rickshaw driver or a two-wheeler, like three-wheeler, will you take me to Machu Picchu? How will you say that?
So Liz says, आप Karol Bagh को चलना है?
Okay, right. So it's almost there. So let's break it down, right? So first is it's giving you a hint. It's future indefinite. That's will, right? You is up, right? To go is because will you go to so to go is basically chalna in future, right? So kya, because will is coming as an interrogative, right? Kya aap, and then your location, and chalna, right? Because it's aap, future of chalna would be
चलेगे.
chaloge in this case.
चलोगे.
Chaloge. right? क्या आप anything that where you want to go? क्या आप करोल बाग चलोगे? Right? चलेंगे is for हम, right? In this case, when you want to say मैं करोल बाग, चलूंगा, right? Um, I will go to करोल बाग, right? क्या आप करोल बाग चलोगे? So again, if you have more questions on future indefinite, I encourage you to watch that particular video where we are going over the basics of future indefinite. But essentially, when you say chalna, sorry, when you say chalna is to walk, or to, in this case, to take a ride also, chalna, right? Um, with आप it's चलोगे. क्या आप करोल बाग चलोगे? And if you really want to give a lot of respect, you can then, then you can say चलेंगे. Clear?
Clear.
Okay. Now let's say the template is ready for you, right? You can also say, as Liz pointed out, there are many variations, right? I mean, क्या आप destination को चलोगे, right? You can use to also. Will you take me to this particular destination? So you can use the post position also. That's not a problem. Um, and if you really want to keep it very simple, you don't have to really write kya aap. The way you are asking the question, like, Taj Mahal chaloge, or, some garden, like hanging garden chaloge, right? You can simply ask it this way. And that is very simple, actually. That is pretty straightforward. That the one which we just discussed was like a longer version. But if I don't want to, you're talking to someone directly, right? So you don't really have to kya aap, right? You can simply say Karol Bagh चलोगे? Karol Bagh चलोगे, and that's like a location in Delhi. Let's say you want to now ask Golden Beach. It's in Chennai or Madras. Golden Beach. It will be Golden Beach.
Chalogi.
Chaloge. Very good. Chaloge. Let's say the third one is I have is, let's say you can ask any temple also, right, or any kind of Hilton Garden. Let's say your hotel, and it's a very popular hotel, Hilton Garden. Hilton Garden, chaloge. Now, one thing we are making an assumption. Why are we using chaloge?
To be polite?
No, I mean more than that. Why are we not using chalogi?
Because we're assuming these are masculine.
Yeah, we are assuming here that most of the rickshaw drivers are male. If you see a female rickshaw driver, you can use chalogi, or all of them chalogi. So you replace this with I. Chalogi. Right? You will not find too many rickshaw drivers like female, especially not the engine one.
Right.
If they're electronic one, then you can find some of them. Right? So good. So I'll probably give some more quiz here just to give you a practice. Let's say, and I'll keep it very simple. Let's say you have Taj Mahal. You are in Agra and you want to give these instructions to the rickshaw driver. Will you take me to Taj Mahal? And the second one I have is, let's say, Sun Temple in Konark. And again, this is assuming you are in Agra, and this is assuming you are in Konark.
So Chrissy says Taj Mahal chaloge.
Very good. And then same thing for
Sun Temple.
Sun Temple chaloge. All right, so let's get going. Let's take the third step. Like after you figured out where the rickshaw station is, and they'll take you to that particular place. The next thing is like you want to find out how much they'll charge you, right? Right? How much to go to, how much to go to, and then your any kind of destination. Or the other way is like how much will you take?
Mhm.
How much will you? How much will you take? And then to go to, and then your destination, right? So let's say in this case, let's say we our destination is again Taj Mahal. Let me give you an opportunity. How will you ask this question? And again, try to break it down. You have how much, which you know. How do you say that? It's a future indefinite. Um, you're using a pronoun called you. There are two words, take and to go. And there is a postposition, to. Attempt it, and then we'll we'll look at the answers.
So Liz says, क्या Taj Mahal देना चलोगी कितने हैं?
Okay, let's see what other
And
people.
Chrissy says, कितने यहाँ Taj Mahal के चलोगी?
Okay, okay. So how much is what?
कितने हैं?
कितना,
कितना? कितना?
कितना, कितनी और कितने, right?
Uh-huh.
You is
Up.
आप in this case. Take is
Take. Uh,
take is to take is लेना,
लेना, yes.
right? And to go is
चलना.
चलना,
Yeah.
right? And और चलना और जाना. So you'll say Taj Mahal. When you say I want to go to Taj Mahal, मुझे Taj Mahal जाना है, right? But you say Taj Mahal जाने का. So remember it was jana, but because you're using a post position, you're using an oblique case of jana. So it's become jane, right? Taj Mahal jane ka, and then kitna, right? And then lena, the future of lena would be
लेओगे.
leoge or loge. Both of them are correct, right? Leoge or loge. Leoge. Right? Taj Mahal jane ka kitna loge. It's a little complicated, but try to look at it this way, right? Um, because there are two verbs, it's probably making you a little bit more like it requires some more thinking, right? But look at it this way: you have jana here and you have lena here. Your destination is here. Taj Mahal जाने का कितना लोगे और लेओगे. So think about it. Like if you are simply asking price, in this case, he's taking you to Taj Mahal, right? So that's why you're using jana, right? If you were, this was not there. If you are talking about the price of an object, right? You will not be using, jana here. Let's say you are buying an ice cream, right? How much is the ice cream? You can simply say ice cream का कितना leoge. And that's very informal way, and which is completely fine. Kitna leoge or loge, asking for kitna loge. There's nothing wrong in it. It's absolutely fine. Just because the rickshaw driver is taking you, they're using one more
Gotcha.
word, right? Um, and if you really want to keep it very simple, like I'm just talking to like a person next to me, right? How can I keep it very simple where I don't have to really repeat all of them, right? You can say Taj Mahal chaloge, which we already like, City chaloge, like Connaught Place chaloge, or Sun Temple chaloge. We already asked him, right? So he knows that now, right? How can I keep it very simple where I don't have to repeat everything?
Taj Mahal ka kitne no, I'm not sure.
So he already knows that we are going to
Yeah,
Taj Mahal,
right.
right? Right.
So just kitne loge?
Very good. Right? I can simply say kitna
No loge.
loge, and that will appear very confident because I'm like how much. I'm not saying the entire sentence. Like I'm just saying how much, and I'm using my expressions as well, right? So you're using your body language. So it will be kitna leoge. Or some people in the colloquial sense they also say kitna loge. And again, it's a lena. In this case, both of them are the form of lena, the future form of lena. Right? So when you say the entire sentence, it just appears a little bit more formal. As you get into the advanced stage, you can convey the same thing in a very minimal sort of words, right? So that's the beauty of it. Kitna leoge. But I wanted to give you both the versions. Next one, let's say, um, and again, you can use it for all of them, right? I mean, okay, so the quiz here is, you want to go to, give me a new destination in India. Let's say,
Lodi Gardens.
Lodi Garden, okay. Lodi Garden. You have to write down a very formal way of asking the rickshaw driver how much will you take, or how much will you take to, yeah, how much will you take to, to go to Lodi Garden, a formal way. And then the other one would be the informal. And we already covered it. I just want to give you some more practice. How are we doing with time? We have some time, right? Okay.
So Chrissy says, Lodi Garden op jane ka kitna log.
Very good, right? So it will be Lodi Garden जाने का कितना लोगे, right? Or कितना लोगे. And the informal way would be simply
Lodi Garden kitne loge?
no.
No.
Informal would be simply
Kitne loge.
कितना लोगे.
Kitna loge. Okay.
Right? Um, good so far, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Now you have a choice. Either you can simply, take the rickshaw, or you can negotiate with them. And that's the next stage, right? Number 4. Let's say the response would be, uh, 100 रुपये लूंगा. And you think it's a lot, right? And now your reaction would be, either you can say, how do you say it's a lot? Either you can say it's a lot. You won't say it's not that lot. It's not that much. I mean, let's say, if you still want to practice it, it's not that much. And the third one would be, it's all right. I'll take it. it's all right, right? So how do you say that in Hindi, right? So let's talk about the first one. It's a lot would be
So I would say बहुत महंगा है.
बहुत महंगा है. Okay, so in this case, so बहुत महंगा है. If you're buying something tangible,
Yeah.
right? Some like instrument or some spices, it will make sense. बहुत महंगा है, right? But these are services,
Right.
right? Uh, I mean, you can use it, but I would say बहुत ज़्यादा है. Like you're charging a lot for your services. बहुत ज़्यादा है. So it'll be ब, again her with u, and then the बहुत, half the या, बहुत ज़्यादा है. बहुत ज़्यादा है, right? So for services, I would say बहुत ज़्यादा है. Or you can, the second one, it's not that much, right? Either you can say ज़्यादा नहीं है. So again, like the same thing, if you want to keep it very informal, right? You can simply say ज़्यादा है. That's it. You can keep it, that's it. You can limit it there. ज़्यादा है. And you can let him sort of give you the counter offer, right? You can say ज़्यादा है, and then take a pause there. Don't use too many words. Like let him do the talking, and then he'll bring it down to 80 or something. Second one is it's not that much. You can simply say, either you can say ज़्यादा नहीं है. In your mind, you can say, right, I mean, ज़्यादा नहीं है, I'll take it. And you don't have to tell him that ज़्यादा नहीं है, charge me more. Right? And the third one is it's all right, and that would be
ठीक है.
ठीक है. Very good. Right? ठीक है. ठीक है. Alright, so that was number 4, where you get to negotiate a little bit, right? I'll not cover a lot of like safety specific things in this class because we can cover that in a separate lecture where you are asking them for their government issued ID, or if they're taking you to somewhere suspicious, you can simply ask them more questions. I'm not covering them in this class, but definitely this can be how to deal with the authorities. We can cover that all together in a different section. Right?
Yeah. And that might Chrissy, because Chrissy was asking how to say that's not the usual price.
Yeah.
So maybe that's part of
it. Yeah. And usually a lot of textbooks also cover like how to deal with the authorities. It's not like you'll be dealing with it. The likelihood is quite less.
Right.
But still, if you were to sort of like understand it, what's going on.
Yeah.
So it's good sort of tools to have, right? Right. So let's talk about even when you're talking to them, right? Let's say they offered you the price, number 5, right? And you cannot, simply say ज़्यादा है or कम है, right? You cannot simply say it's like a lot or less, but you want to ask them like how far is it, right? So it'll be how far is your destination, right? So for example, in this case, how far is Lodi Garden? Right, how far, and then from your location, right? And then you can simply say that he can say it's 2 kilometer, and then you can say that बहुत ज़्यादा है or ठीक है, right? Because if it is like quite far, and again you can check on that as well, right? I mean, you can check yourself whether it's really, you can confirm it with other people also if you really want to be sure that क्या वास्तव में और क्या लोधी गार्डन 2 किलोमीटर दूर है. You can check with other co-passengers or other people as well, right? So now in this case, we'll just learn how to say how far is a particular location.
So Monica says,
Mhm.
Lodi Garden,
Mhm.
kitne dur hai?
Very good, right? So it will be Lodi Garden कितनी दूर है? And for some of the places you can use kitna, and again depending on where you are going, right? Garden you can think of it as a feminine, so that's what kitni dur hai. Beach also you can think of it as like um, kitni as a feminine. Um, I'm just thinking about like a kitna, right? I mean, it'll be, let's say a temple, right? Mandir kitna dur hai? Or sun temple kitna? Mandir kitna dur hai? Actually, mandir also they'll say kitni dur hai. So mandir is also feminine. Let me think about it. Any of the locations that we just covered? Uh, so far, all the places that we have done, like there's the temple kitni dur hai, beach kitni dur hai. You can also say Taj Mahal kitni dur hai.
And Chrissy asks, is train station masculine?
That's right. Sorry. Station kitni dur hai? Actually, I've seen it using it both ways. Like I mean, I've seen like bus station kitni dur hai? It's a tricky question actually, because I've seen people saying bus station kitni dur hai versus bus station kitna dur hai. Um, as of now, I'll say stick with kitni dur hai. Again, this is like more kind of like where things are. It's very difficult for you to differentiate between whether it will fall in masculine and feminine. You can simply say kitni dur hai.
Yeah.
Right. So this is clear, right? How far is now they can say whether Lodi Garden 2 kilometer dur hai, right?
Right.
Now number 6 is kind of a repetition of one of the topic that we've done, right? I mean, which is basically owner of or owner of a particular profession or doer of a particular profession, right? So somebody who drives a rickshaw would be
Rickshaw.
very good, rickshaw wala, right? So you'll put wala at the end, rickshaw wala, right? Somebody who drives a taxi would be
Taxi wala.
taxi wala, right? Taxi wala kahan hai, rickshaw wala kahan hai? Somebody who sort of like sells milk will be
Doodh wala.
doodh wala. And then somebody who sells vegetables, it would be
Sabzi wala.
sabji wala, right? Seller of. So we have covered it in quite a detail, so I'm not going to go into the specifics of that. I think this should give you a good sort of like a framework. I'm just gonna cover the last topic because we just have 5 more minutes. Um, if you were to navigate yourself, let's say you're familiar with the direction, right? And you know where you're going, and you simply want to give directions to the rickshaw driver or to the giving directions. You want to give simply directions to your locations, right? It'll be go straight, or it will be turn right, or turn left, go slowly, or speed it up. Right? If you're if you think you might miss your train or something, if you want to speed it up, you can simply say that, right? I'll just say, to keep it simple, I'm just gonna say go right and go left here, so that way, right? So straight would be seedha. In this case, straight is seedha, right? So you simply, with the respect, you are saying सीधे चलिए. Again, the base verb is chalna, but because you are giving respect, सीधे चलिए. Or you can simply also say सीधा चलो if you want to be a little bit more informal, right? सीधा चलो or सीधे चलो. Um, and then go right. Go right is दाएं चलिए. दाएं चलिए. Go left is
Bye.
बाएं. बाएं चलिए. Next is go slowly would be
धीरे
धीरे चलिए.
धीरे चलिए.
And speed it up or go fast would be
जल्दी चलिए.
जल्दी चलिए और तेज चलिए. तेज is also fast, so I'll just write it तेज और जल्दी चलिए. Right, so that will basically give them specific instructions on what you are thinking about. With that in mind, we've covered the 7 things you need to know when you are taking rickshaw in India. With that in mind, people who are watching live on YouTube, will meet you again next Sunday. And folks who are watching, live here on the panel, will open it up for discussion